Alright, so today we're diving into 30 PS5 games that genuinely feel like a 10 out of 10 purchase. No filler, no pointless picks, just straight up games that justify every penny with either their story, gameplay, visuals, or just pure fun. Let's get into it. God of War Ragnarök feels like the perfect blend of emotional storytelling and brutally satisfying combat, and it hits that sweet spot where everything just works together. Kratos and Atreus have some of the best character moments in the series, and the game constantly throws memorable boss fights, huge set pieces, and gorgeous environments at you without wasting your time. Every area feels handcrafted, the pacing is tight, and the DualSense support adds weight to every swing. It's the kind of game that makes owning a PS5 feel completely worth it because it delivers both spectacle and depth with zero compromises. Death Stranding 2 is one of those games you play when you want something completely different from all the usual big-budget releases. Kojima doubles down on atmosphere, weirdness, and emotional world-building, creating a sequel that feels bigger, bolder, and way more confident in its identity. Traversing the world is strangely relaxing, the visuals are ridiculously detailed, and the soundtrack ties everything together perfectly. It's not about constant action, it's about surviving the elements, connecting people, and getting pulled into a story that only Kojima could tell. If you want a unique PS5 experience, this game nails it.
That one seems to have done some damage.
Hades 2 delivers that same fast, addictive combat from the first game, but expands everything in a way that feels natural rather than forced. Every run pushes you to experiment with new abilities, weapon aspects, and god boons, and even when you fail, the progression system makes you feel like you're still moving forward. The characters are stylish, funny, and full of personality, and the art direction is just as vibrant as ever. It's the kind of game where one more run turns into hours because it balances challenge, reward, and discovery so perfectly. For PlayStation 5 players, it's easily one of the most replayable games out there. Horizon Forbidden West basically takes everything great about Zero Dawn and polishes it until it shines. The open world is larger, more colorful, and full of detailed environments that make exploration feel rewarding from start to finish. Combat is smoother, especially when fighting the massive mechanical beasts that remain the highlight of the series. Aloy feels more confident and better written, and the story digs deeper into the world's mysteries without dragging. Add in beautiful graphics, smart side quests, and excellent performance on PS5, and you've got a game that constantly impresses without needing to overhype itself. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is the definition of a grounded medieval RPG. No magic, no shortcuts, just pure historical realism and systems that push you to think before you swing your sword. The world feels alive in a way most games don't attempt, with NPC routines, realistic combat balance, and a story that focuses on personal stakes instead of world-ending threats. Every choice matters, and even small decisions ripple through missions and relationships. It's slower and more methodical than most RPGs, but that's exactly why it stands out. On PlayStation 5, the visuals, performance, and immersion make this sequel feel like a true next-gen medieval experience. Split Fiction is a cooperative action-adventure from Hazelight Studios, blending surreal storytelling with inventive gameplay. Players step into the shoes of Mio Hudson and Zoe Foster, two authors whose imaginations are hijacked when a sinister machine traps them inside the worlds they once created. What begins as a desperate bid for escape transforms into a sweeping journey across fractured realities, fantasy kingdoms, dystopian futures, and dreamlike landscapes, all stitched together by the duo's own words. Every puzzle demands collaboration, every battle thrives on synergy, and every twist forces the pair to confront the consequences of their creativity. With its cinematic flair, boundary-pushing co-op mechanics, and emotional resonance, Split Fiction invites players to not just play a story, but to live inside one, where imagination itself becomes both weapon and prison.
What's going on? It's a self-destruct protocol! Major, Mamma Mia! Major!
Elden Ring is still one of the easiest 10 out of 10 recommendations because the freedom it gives you is unmatched. You can explore in any direction, stumble into massive bosses, find hidden areas, or build your character in completely broken ways if you want. The world feels handcrafted despite its size, and every dungeon, cave, and ruin has some new surprise waiting. Combat is challenging but incredibly satisfying once things click, and the variety of weapons and playstyles keeps you experimenting for dozens of hours. It's one of the rare games where getting lost actually feels exciting instead of overwhelming. Baldur's Gate 3 is basically a giant playground for role-playing, where almost every decision leads to a unique reaction, consequence, or unexpected moment that flips your entire run. The characters are written with so much personality that even the smallest interactions feel memorable, and the voice acting elevates everything even more. Combat is tactical and fun without slowing down the pace, giving you endless ways to approach encounters. It's one of those games where you finish a playthrough and immediately want to start a new one because there's always something different to discover. Spider-Man 2 nails that power fantasy of swinging through New York at ridiculous speeds, and switching between Peter and Miles keeps the pace feeling fresh the whole way through. The combat is smoother, the suits and abilities are cooler, and the story hits that perfect Marvel balance of personal problems mixed with supervillain chaos. The set pieces are pure spectacle, but the quieter character moments are just as good. It's not trying to reinvent anything, it just takes everything from the first two games and sharpens it into a polished, extremely fun experience from start to finish. The Witcher 3 remains a masterpiece because of how consistently strong its writing is. Even tiny side quests feel like fully developed stories with memorable characters, twists, and choices that actually feel meaningful. The world is massive but dense with interesting places, and exploring never feels empty or repetitive. Combat keeps you engaged, but it's really the atmosphere, music, and tone that pull you into Geralt's journey. With the PS5 upgrade adding smoother performance and cleaner visuals, it's easily one of the best RPG experiences on the system, even years after release. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth takes everything that made Remake exciting and expands it into a huge, colorful world full of personality, side stories, and fun systems to mess around with. The combat blends action and strategy so smoothly that every fight feels dynamic, especially when swapping between characters mid-battle. The game constantly surprises you with new minigames, locations, and emotional story beats that land harder than expected. It's bold, playful, and confident, giving fans a massive adventure that feels both nostalgic and fresh without losing its heart. Resident Evil 4 Remake is basically the perfect example of how to modernize a classic without losing what made it great. The pacing is intense, the action is sharp, and every encounter feels handcrafted to keep you on edge. Leon's combat options are expanded just enough to feel modern while still keeping that old-school charm. The atmosphere is darker, the visuals are cleaner, and the animations make every fight feel impactful. It's incredibly replayable, packed with secrets, and easily one of the tightest survival horror experiences on PS5. Demon's Souls Remake remains one of the cleanest showcases of what the PS5 can do. Bluepoint rebuilt every inch of the game with stunning detail while keeping the original difficulty, level design, and eerie atmosphere intact. The combat feels heavy and precise, the bosses hit hard, and the world has that mysterious tone that makes exploration exciting and intimidating at the same time. It's challenging, sure, but never unfair, just deeply satisfying when you finally beat an area. If you want a true next-gen Souls-like experience, this is still one of the best. Cyberpunk 2077's Complete Edition finally delivers the experience everyone hoped for at launch, with polished mechanics, smarter AI, and a world that feels dense, stylish, and full of personality. Night City is incredible to explore, and the Liberty City expansion adds a massive new storyline that feels cinematic and meaningful. The combat, perks, and cyberware systems flow better than ever, letting you build your character in genuinely fun ways. Combine that with the improved visuals on PS5, and you get a futuristic RPG that's rich, immersive, and absolutely worth finishing.
I'll sell you for scrap!
Returnal is one of the most unique shooters on PS5 because of its fast-paced combat, roguelike structure, and the way it uses DualSense to pull you deeper into its world. Every run feels tense as you fight through shifting environments packed with enemies that force you to stay mobile. The story is mysterious and fragmented in a way that keeps you curious without slowing down the action. The sound design, visuals, and bullet hell patterns create a rhythm that becomes addictive once you click with it. It's challenging, stylish, and incredibly satisfying when you finally break through. Astro Bot is one of those games that just radiates pure fun from start to finish. Every level introduces a new idea, mechanic, or playful surprise without ever dragging anything out. It's bright, creative, and packed with clever references that feel like a celebration of PlayStation's history. The platforming is tight, the DualSense features are easily some of the best on the console, and the whole experience just leaves you smiling. It's not trying to be massive or overly cinematic, it's simply a polished, joyful adventure that shows what the PS5 can do when a game is built specifically for it. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart feels like playing a high-end animated movie thanks to its fast action, clean visuals, and instant loading that lets you jump between dimensions without a hiccup. The weapons are as wild and creative as ever, and experimenting with them keeps combat fresh and hilarious. The story is lighthearted but has real charm, especially with Rivet joining the cast. It's one of the smoothest, most beginner-friendly action games on PS5, and every moment feels crafted to be fun rather than overly complicated. Just pure, polished entertainment from start to finish. Ghost of Tsushima remains one of the most atmospheric open-world games out there, with stunning scenery, smooth combat, and a tone that balances peaceful exploration with intense samurai duels. The island is filled with tiny details that make wandering feel rewarding, and the combat system is clean enough that every fight feels like a personal duel. The story focuses on honor, conflict, and tough choices, and Jin's journey hits emotionally without trying too hard. With the PS5 enhancements giving smoother performance and sharper visuals, it's easily one of the most immersive games you can play. Helldivers 2 delivers some of the most chaotic and hilarious co-op gameplay on PS5, where teamwork can save you just as easily as friendly fire can wipe your squad instantly. Missions feel unpredictable thanks to the enemy swarms, randomized objectives, and the constant threat of your own airstrikes landing on your head. Unlocking new stratagems and weapons keeps progression exciting, and the community vibe makes every match feel like controlled chaos. It's fast, loud, and endlessly fun, especially with friends, and easily one of the standout multiplayer experiences on the console. Deathloop blends time loop mechanics with stylish gunplay to create an experience that stays fresh long after you learn the routine. Each district has its own personality, secrets, and perfect moments to strike, and figuring out how to line up all your targets in one flawless loop is incredibly satisfying. The combat is slick, the powers are fun to combine, and the writing gives both Colt and Juliana a ton of personality. It's clever without feeling confusing, and the freedom it gives you to experiment makes every loop feel different. A uniquely stylish PS5 experience.
What?
Star Wars Jedi Survivor takes everything Fallen Order did well and expands it into a bigger, richer adventure with smoother combat and much more freedom in exploration. Cal feels stronger and more confident, and the new stances make lightsaber combat way more expressive and strategic. The worlds are huge, packed with secrets, and full of side areas that actually feel worth exploring. The story digs deeper into Cal's struggles without slowing the pacing, and the platforming is cleaner than ever. On PS5, the visuals, performance, and set pieces make this one of the best Star Wars games ever made. Alan Wake 2 is a stylish, psychological horror experience that plays with storytelling in a way that only Remedy could pull off. Switching between Alan and Saga lets the game balance detective work with surreal, reality-bending sequences that keep you guessing the entire time. The visuals and audio design are insanely atmospheric, making every environment feel unsettling and cinematic. Combat is tougher and more deliberate, pushing you to stay calm in tense situations. It's not just scary, it's smart, layered, and full of creative moments that stick with you long after you stop playing. Dead Space Remake rebuilds the original from the ground up with modern lighting, sound, and movement that make the Ishimura feel more alive and more terrifying than ever. Every hallway feels tense because the audio design is so detailed you can almost hear danger sneaking up on you. The combat keeps its classic limb targeting system but feels smoother and more responsive, making fights intense without losing that survival horror edge. The expanded story moments add depth without changing the heart of the original. It's the definitive way to experience one of the best horror games ever made. Lies of P is one of the cleanest and most polished Souls-like games outside of From Software, with tight combat, smooth animations, and a dark fairy tale world that instantly pulls you in. Every enemy feels carefully designed, and the weapon system lets you mix blades and handles to match your playstyle. Boss fights are tough but fair, pushing you to learn patterns and stay patient. The story has a unique twist that keeps you curious, and the art direction gives everything a stylish, gothic edge. It's challenging in all the right ways and incredibly satisfying once you master it.
Here to be nothing but talk.
Gran Turismo 7 is the ultimate love letter to car culture, offering a huge collection of vehicles, tracks, and tuning options that make it easy for both newcomers and hardcore players to enjoy. The driving physics feel realistic without being frustrating, and the DualSense features make every bump, shift, and brake feel tactile. The campaign gently teaches you how to appreciate different cars and techniques, while the online mode gives endless replay value. Visually, it's stunning, with clean reflections and detailed interiors, making it one of the most premium-feeling racers on PS5. Sifu is a brutally stylish martial arts game that rewards patience, timing, and actual improvement rather than cheap tricks. Every fight feels like a choreography you have to earn, and the aging mechanic adds a clever twist that pushes you to refine your skills with each run. The environments are beautifully designed with clean, sharp visuals that make every encounter look cinematic. It's tough, sure, but the progression system and shortcuts make each attempt feel meaningful. When everything finally clicks and you pull off a perfect run, the satisfaction is unbeatable, making Sifu one of PS5's most rewarding action games. Stray stands out because of its simple but emotionally effective approach, letting you explore a neon-lit cyber city entirely from the perspective of a cat. It's cozy, atmospheric, and surprisingly immersive as you navigate rooftops, tight alleys, and abandoned buildings filled with little environmental stories. The puzzles are relaxing, the platforming is smooth, and the bond with your robot companion adds heart to the journey. It's short, but there's zero filler, and the world design sticks with you long after the credits roll. It's the kind of experience that proves not every great game needs to be huge or complex. Kenna Bridge of Spirits blends charming Pixar-like visuals with surprisingly challenging combat, creating an adventure that feels warm and emotional but still demands skill. The wrought creatures add personality to exploration and give you clever abilities during fights, making each encounter feel dynamic. The world is colorful, peaceful, and full of small discoveries that reward curiosity. The story is simple but heartfelt, backed by great music and beautiful cutscenes. It's a compact game, but every moment is polished, making it one of the most visually pleasant and satisfying action adventures on PS5. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 hooks you instantly with its surreal art style, painterly environments, and a combat system that blends turn-based strategy with timed inputs to keep battles engaging. The world feels dreamlike and haunting, filled with strange characters and lore that encourage exploration. Each member of your expedition has unique abilities that make team synergy fun to experiment with. The pacing balances story, combat, and discovery without overstaying its welcome. It's a fresh take on RPG design, offering something stylish, emotional, and different from the usual fantasy worlds we see.
The storm is coming.
Uncharted 4 remains one of the best cinematic action-adventure experiences thanks to its heartfelt storytelling, believable character chemistry, and incredible set pieces that still hold up on PS5. Nathan Drake's final journey mixes grounded emotional moments with larger-than-life treasure-hunting chaos in a way few games pull off. The climbing, shooting, and exploration all feel smooth, and the pacing stays tight from start to finish. With the PS5 upgrade giving it cleaner visuals and faster load times, it's the definitive way to experience a game that perfectly wraps up the Uncharted saga.
Damn it. Go!
I'm tired of silence. I'm tired of your brother. And I'm tired of you.
And that's the list. These 30 games are genuinely worth every penny and show exactly why the PS5 library stays stacked. If you've played any of these, let me know your favorites. And if I missed one you think deserves a 10 out of 10 spot, drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Captain Avery. It's just like old times, huh? Lena? Lena? Hey! Hey! Lena, come on! Lena!
My hero.
Oh, no, you didn't do that. No! That's not funny!
Oh, you have done much worse.
You gave me a goddamn heart attack.
Oh, let me listen. Sounds good to me.